Okay, so let's just get onto our mats. And then just take a nice big breath and reach those arms up. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale up. And then exhale. Let's interlock the fingers behind us. Take a nice big stretch there and then fall to the forward fold. Keep those fingers nice and strong. Give your head a bit of a wiggle so you're just really aware of relaxing and softening any tension. Feel free to do a little gentle swaying side to side as you bend one knee and lengthen through the opposite seat. Again, just take it nice and easy. And then slowly come up, bending your knees as you come up to standing into a chair pose. Reach those arms up and then exhale, fall the body forward fold. Take a nice inhale to a half lift where you look up, and then exhale, just walk those hands nice and easy out into a plank position. So I'm kind of in a modified plank here, and I'm going to swivel into one hand and come to a side plank, and then play around here, just finding some stability and some core integration. See how I'm playing around with that top leg? I'm going to flick it behind me and then arch my back a little, just lifting up through the hips as I swing that top arm. See if you can balance here by bringing that back leg off the ground, bringing it in front of you, and then extending it into a nice big stretch here. Don't worry if you don't go all the way deep. And now see if you can step that right foot forward, lift the left arm up, open to the warrior two, inhale, arms up. Exhale, release, inhale that right arm back, exhale, lengthen into your extended side angle, nice big stretch right here, and then flip it to a twist. And then slowly release, bending into that front right knee, and then just play around with some hip stretch here. See how I'm just swaying the body side to side, lifting the hips up, feeling into those hamstrings, and then stepping back into a downward dog. Again, once you come back into downward dog, it's always nice to just sway your hips side to side, press down into those hands, breathe into your spine. Here I'm going to ripple through the spine, coming into a plank position and then swiveling into that side plank pose. Again, be mindful, just play around with balancing right here. That will help with your stability and your core strength. So all those muscles inside the core. And again here, I'm doing like a nice big arm swing, seeing if I can balance by lifting that back foot off the ground. Still nice, strong, arched back position. Float that top leg all the way in front of me and then grab it with my left arm and swing it up. And see how that feels, just coming to a nice extended balance. And then step that left foot all the way forward into your lunge and then windmill those arms open to warrior two. Inhale. Reach those arms up, exhale, and then inhale again, reach that left arm back, and then exhale, extend your side angle, a nice big stretch here, always feels really good. And then swing the arm and let yourself twist round, bringing that left arm behind you, softening down. See how I'm letting those hips come down. Left knee is slightly open as I lean out into the left knee and the right hip flexor, swinging it side to side, supporting myself with those hands, and then just lifting the hips up, feeling into the hamstrings, and then prepare and stepping back into a downward dog. Again, just sway your hips, give the head a bit of a wiggle. Now, wiggling your head is really useful just to make sure you're not gripping any tension in your neck. So take a swing with that right leg up behind you. Play around here if that feels nice, and then bring it forward into a hip opener. Now, bearing in mind, it's about 5 a.m. So this is a really nice little flow practice for waking up your body, feeling into the hips, the hamstrings, the back, taking nice big full deep breaths. So I've come into a pigeon practice, and again, I'm exploring it. You're allowed to just hang out into a forward fold, or you can do different things with your arms like I'm doing here. And then just feel into that stretch. I'd say our hip openers, or maybe even our inversions, are really good for stimulating and awakening the body. And then I'm going to release that pigeon, and I call this opening the book. So imagine my left arm and left leg are the pages, the body's the binding, and then you can see I'm deepening into a full spinal twist after that. Spinal twisting, I really like just kind of dropping into the seat. Both sitting bones are grounded, looking behind me, using the arms as a bit of support and leverage, but not really trying too hard in a twist. Now here I'm going to just turn my body back to the front, bring my left knee more on top of my right, and I'm doing a half eagle. So I'm doing my right elbow up and over my left and bringing those elbows up. Such a good stretch. If you're like me and you carry tension in your shoulders, that's a really good stretch. As is this one. I do this one all the time in forward folds and loads of different positions. And then you can see here, I'm just hinging forward to see if I can feel some good juicy stretch in the lower back and the bum. And then just slowly release that. We're going to try a side crow here. So side crow, just a variation of crow pose. And I'm trying a whole bunch of different things, floating the legs around. Balances are awesome because like some days you're on it, some days you're not. But it doesn't matter because it's all just fun. So check it out. I'm trying into a nice headstand practice here. Now, don't ever do these poses that you feel uncomfortable or unsafe doing. You know, it's straight up same in my classes where I'll offer a lot of different variations of these types of positions. So if you're unsure, certainly if you're watching a video on YouTube and a teacher or instructor's doing something and you're not sure and you don't feel safe, just observe. And even just when we wrap our mind around something someone else is doing, it actually does help us to learn. So maybe you take a few more classes and eventually you're feeling pretty comfortable doing a headstand practice. But if you've never done it before, just kind of observe, work it out, notice, where the alignments are, and then you can rejoin me wherever you are in the practice. So just gently releasing. We never need to rush. That's the beauty of yoga, is like teaching us how to slow down and pay attention and feel too. That's like the biggest bit, is like not just going through the motions, but having a direct experience with your own body, mind, spirit, breath. Okay, so here I've come to downward dog and then rippled through into a plank, lower it down, and then inhale, nice big breath to lift the head and the heart up, so an arch back position, and then gently back up into that downward dog. So here I'm going to inhale that left leg up behind me. Same on the other side. I'm just doing a little kind of arch back line where I'm lifting that leg up, and then here I think I did another little stretch just for good measure, and then bring that left knee all the way forward, so into your pigeon practice. Now, never assume that you're going to feel the exact same on one side as you are on the other. So that, again, it requires, so I'm doing slightly different movements on this side, obviously, because the energy up that left side just feels slightly different. So I'm kind of playing around with that. I'd encourage you to do the same. So in classes with me, I often talk about doing little micro movements. So if you pay attention to my pelvis, I'm gently rocking my hips from side to side. You see my feet are always kind of nudging and playing around as well. And those little micro movements, again, they really help us to stay present with the position. And so that my body never feels like I'm forcing it to do anything. Again, it's always like a gentle and curious exploration of feeling where there's tension, feeling where it feels really good and spacious, but owning that ability to feel and take ownership of the body. That to me is something that yoga is really good at. It helps us to become more self-aware, which helps us become more responsible, which generally just helps us take better care of ourselves, which is a good thing for all of us. So as I release the pigeon, again, I'm doing the opening the book, twisting the spine. Easy does it here. Just doesn't worry, don't worry if the leg and arm are straight. Just prepare for your twist by grounding both sitting bones and then bringing that top leg around the outside of your left knee or thigh. Here, I'm just kind of preparing. I'm playing around with how my hands feel best, and then look the gaze around and just breathe. Really, that's all you need to do is breathe and look. As long as your bum bones are grounded here, your breath really does do all the work. And it's probably easiest that way as well. I'm giving you a little cheeky smile. I've decided I'm going to dye my hair rose gold, so watch out for a little bit of a different hairstyle. Okay, so I've untwisted and then come back into that, I think this is called like a head of cow pose or something, with the half eagle with the arms. So the knees on top, I've got the opposite elbow on top, and then I'm breathing into the shoulder girdle before falling the body forward into a forward fold. Breathing deeply again, so it's like, okay, there's sensation in the lower back and the hips, you just breathe into that. And then prepare. Let's give our side crow a little practice here. Because we did it on the other side, we gots to do it on this side too. Nice, easy breathing. So say like some days I'm really on top of it, other days I'll be wobbling everywhere. So like just play around. Again, if you're unsure about these balances or more kind of fancy type poses, just observe, take your sweet time. There's no rush when it comes to doing these poses at all. Being able to do certain poses doesn't make you necessarily a better person. It might make you a better, physical practitioner, gymnast. But, to me, yoga really is ultimately about how to be as kind to ourselves and others as possible. So check it out. So I'm doing a forearm balance. And I'm playing around with my legs. I just shot my legs right up there. And again, play around. Maybe put the wall up against you. See what it feels like just pressing down into the forearms from a headstand practice. Or just observe. So here I'm jumping through now. I'm going to start to just kind of wind down a little bit and do just some deep stretch. So I'm doing a wide leg forward bend here. Got both legs out to the side. And you can see I'm playing around. So I'm not kind of limited to just letting the body fall forward or just doing a side stretch. It's like a dance, right? So the legs, the bum bones are super grounded. I'm activating the feet just by playing around with the feet. And then just slowly release, coming into a nice boat pose, so a little bit of core, and then float those legs all the way up into a nice shoulder stand practice. So in case you hadn't noticed, I'm really fluid with yoga movement as a practice. I really, I've been working at a really lovely retreat for many years now and worked with so many different bodies and shapes and styles, and really found this kind of flow that people can just go for. Making spirituality and these kind of more conscious practices really accessible for people. If we're too serious or too austere, people get turned off. So making it light, making it fun. You'll notice here, so I really like to do breath of fire in most days. And here I'm actually giving it go in a shoulder stand variation where I'm doing a lotus position with my legs. If you can't do that, you can just bring the soles of your feet together. I'm doing a really deep stretch because it's morning time and you can often feel a really good stretch in the back of the neck and the back of the body. And then just playing around with the full sequencing here. So coming into that ear pressure pose, playing around. Don't think the knees are dropped right down. So that's one thing you'll realize. The knees will drop down to the ears eventually, maybe not right away. And then here I'm doing the counter pose to that shoulder stand. So again, I'm doing like a variation. I'm letting my knees bend. And I'm playing around with letting my head and neck kind of fall back and then come up, but I'm really focused on thoracic breathing, so rib cage breathing. And then I release, look around, check you guys out again, make sure my camera's still on because sometimes my storage cuts out. But there you go. I'm there with you. And here I'm doing a happy baby pose. So it's like I'm coming to that kind of final little stretch. And whenever I am teaching classes at the retreats, again, I usually say to people, now is your time. You're your own master. You know your body best. So if you're wanting to get the most out of your corpse pose, which is where I am here, or Shavasana in Sanskrit, if you want to get the most out of that Shavasana pose, unkink. So you might want to squeeze your arms and legs, or you do that happy baby like you saw me doing, or you can rock your knees. Just play around so that when you come to lie down, you're mega chill. And then right in this moment, it was like, just feel your body supported by the ground, Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Have a nice relaxation. I hope that was awesome and useful for you. Oh, check it out. So now I'm just kind of playing around with a handstand. You can do this too. You can just kick your legs up or see what it's like. Maybe have a wall behind you. That's how I've for years and years. So I've been practicing my handstands for 8 years or 10 years. You can see I'm still totally in the practice phase, in no way kind of mastering it, but definitely having a lot of fun with it at the same time. I noticed one thing I really worked on was having your feet active. It's sometimes a challenge, but it's good fun. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Peace out.